Hello everyone and welcome to my very first podcast. For any of you who don't know who I am, my name is Clodagh Neville and I'm an online personal trainer / coach. You can catch me on Instagram and TikTok at Coach by Clodagh. So the reason why I started this podcast is firstly, it's a chance for you to get to know me better. But mainly the reason why I'm doing this is to help you on your fitness journey. So whether you're trying to lose weight or whether you're trying to get into the gym and exercise or repair your relationship with food, whatever it is, I want to help you do that while also cutting all of the bullshit on how you can actually achieve those goals. As someone who's been overweight for I'd say 95% of my lifetime, I went through all the stupid fad diets, all those like juice cleanses and fucking green tea bags and all that crap. Wasted years and years on these stupid diets to get zero results, get back to where I was, which was overweight and miserable. I just want to cut all that out of your life, save you years and years of hassle, and to show you how to actually achieve your goals properly and sustainably, and to be able to actually maintain those goals for the rest of your life. So yeah, I basically want this podcast to help change your life the way podcasts have changed my life and made me become a better version of myself and happier. Okay, so a little background about me before I tell you like how podcasts have changed my life and blah 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 blah. Started in the gym when I was 16 years old, fell in love with it. Then I lost a load of weight, got really strong, really fit, and I was loving life. Then I hit 17 and then I got a boyfriend. And as you know, when you get a boyfriend, you kind of both turn into lazy fucks and you start eating out more and like getting takeaways more often. And like, that's fine. I'm not judging whatsoever. And maybe you're not like that at all getting into a relationship. I was. And yeah, so like the gym kind of just started to go down. The amount of times I was going to the gym started going down. The amount of times I was eating out and eating a load of food started going up. And obviously because of that, I started gaining weight again. And yeah, it's a bit of a shit show. Anyways, fast forward to second year of college. And that is when I hit like the heaviest I was ever before. I'm not going to say how much I weighed because I know that can trigger the fuck out of people. But basically, I'm only 5'3", so I'm quite short. And like for the amount that I weighed at that height, it was not good. Like I hated my body so much. I hated how I looked. Even wearing something like a tracksuit, like a pair of tracksuit pants and a hoodie, I was like, ew, you are disgusting, which is really sad. So yeah, that was a bit of like a sad time. Then fast forward to third year of college, and that is when I went on placement down in Cork, and I had to move to Cork for the year. That was in 2019, so just before COVID hit. And oh my God, lads, I was thriving there, okay? I worked in a boarding school, so we had to stay in the school with the poshty, like the kids. We got free accommodation. We got breakfast, lunch and dinner given to us because the kids had to eat breakfast, lunch and dinner as well at the school. And like we had our time off when they were in school and then we'd mind them. So I literally had such a perfect routine, like wake up, get the kids, bring them to breakfast, then send them off to school, walk to the gym, do a gym session, walk back to the school, have my lunch, like my first meal of the day. I did intermittent fasting. Then I would chill out for a bit, go for a shower, whatever. Then I would like collect the kids from school. Then we'd do sports and activities. So I'd be walking around all day doing that. Then we'd have dinner. Sometimes I'd bring like meal prep my own dinner and then just like have that as opposed to what they were giving. So like I was tracking my calories and everything. Oh no, okay. This is like, that was great and all, but this is before I learned about how to lose weight sustainably and, without being a miserable fuck. I was on a 1200 calorie diet. No, I didn't have a coach who was like, yeah, 1200. I did this to myself, but that was because it is what was trending at the time. Do you remember 1200 calories was trending there? Yeah. Yeah, this is before I knew about like calories properly and how to get into a good, like a maintainable and sustainable deficit. I was like, oh, 1200 calories, boom, there we go. So I was able to stick to it. I don't know how, but like I was well able to stick to it for, okay, Monday to Friday because I had a really good routine going. I was getting my gym sessions in, I was getting my walks in, and I was able to like cook my own food and whatnot. So that was good. Then I'd come home on the weekends. Oh my God. That's when the hunger would kick in, and like my mom, she'd like make dinners and stuff, that's fine. But she'd like buy cakes or, you know, like have chocolate biscuits. Lads, I can't. Sorry, just a little side note. I cannot get a packet of chocolate digestive biscuits. Like I can't buy it for myself because I have no control. I like cannot control myself around chocolate digestives. They just go like I knock them back like there's no tomorrow. And then before you know it, I have about 20 chocolate digestives eaten, and that's about 2,000 calories, and I'm still hungry and I'm like, oh fuck. But anyways, where was I? Yeah, the weekend would come around and I'd go crazy, and that's when I'd see my boyfriend and we'd go out for dinners, we'd go like get takeaways and whatnot. So it kind of contradicted the whole 1,200 calories Monday to Friday because I'd eat a load at the weekend. But somehow I did like stay within a deficit overall, and I lost weight. I was getting like stronger, not very strong because I wasn't eating enough, but I was getting stronger and I was losing weight and I was getting more comfortable in my body. Like I was happy, I was in a bit of a routine and whatnot. Then March of 2020 hit, COVID hit, lockdown hit, school's shut, all that jazz. I'm back home in my home, and I have no job and like no college because I was in third year, so we had no assignments or anything. And I was just, yeah, that was it. And this is when the kind of, I suppose you'd call it, is when the seed was planted for me to become a personal trainer kind of started, and like the journey to self-improvement and self-love began. Didn't know it at the time, obviously, but you know, looking back now I can tell. But anyways, lockdown hit. I don't know why, but it wasn't great for me at the start, probably because I wasn't in a good routine. Like I was sleeping in, staying up late. I had no reason to like get up and do stuff because I'd no. Now, to be fair, I had a fucking thesis to do, but do you think I was going to do my thesis on time when I had all the time in the world? Absolutely not. Anyways, so yeah, I was just like, oh my God, I'm so lost. Like, what the fuck do I do with myself? And that's when like we all started doing the walks. Do you remember like the 5K runs? Sorry, no, there was no way. We did it. I think I ran maybe 3 times in lockdown and then I nearly died. So yeah, that's how I feel about running. But yeah, we started doing walks, and then I go for walks on my own because the weather was so fucking nice that year, I remember. And that's when I discovered podcasts, and I was like, oh, what are these little videos about? And I discovered this lady who, she is the reason my whole life is the way it is right now. Like, as in, if I didn't discover her page or her podcast or anything like that, I honestly have no idea where I would be in life right now. No, do you know what? I would be back in like the old version of me and the miserable version of me and like probably the overweight version of me. Yeah, that's how much podcasts have changed my life. This woman in particular, her podcast, that's how much she's impacted my life. And that's another reason why I wanted to start my own podcast, is to be that person for someone who's going through something that I went through in the past, and to help them and to just change their lives and literally become better versions of themselves the way I did. So this lady's name is Sinead Hegarty, and I'm sure a lot of you have heard of her. If you haven't, please like go look her up right now and start listening to her podcasts. Just get to know her basically. The impact this woman had on my life, and she doesn't even know it, obviously, because she's like hundreds, thousands of followers. She completely changed my life that summer. And I didn't know it then, but obviously looking back now, I'm like, I can pinpoint exactly that's when my life changed. Like, that's when, again, the seed was planted for me to change my life. So I started listening to her podcasts, and I started to become more aware about mental health, therapy, meditation, because she's all about like improving your mental health, being aware of your like your attachment styles in relationships and other people's attachment styles, red flags, basically just becoming more self-aware of all these things, and like therapy and meditation and whatnot. So yeah, I would never have thought about those things before. Like, ever. I'd be like, why are you going to therapy? Like, is there something wrong with you? That's what I thought. And I hate that I was like that, but I'm not like that anymore. And I hope to God that you don't think like that either. You do not need to have something wrong with you, as in you don't need to have gone through a traumatic life experience just to go to therapy. It's there to improve your mental health, just like the gym is there to improve your physical health. You could be in the best shape of your life physically, but you're still going to go to the gym because you want to maintain that best shape. So that's exactly like therapy. You go to therapy to obviously improve your mental health and become more self-aware and to keep on top of your mental health, okay? So just want to clear that. So yeah, I started listening to her podcast and like things were becoming more aware to me, and I was like, I started to actually think about how little I loved myself. Like I became aware of how little I loved myself, how I was not living up to my full potential, how I was just being a lazy bollocks, and do you know what the word is? I was settling. And I hate that word because it scares me. But oh my God, was I settling. Like I was settling in every aspect of my life and I didn't realize it at the time. So yeah, I started listening to her podcast more and more and more. And then, you know, lockdown, I eventually got back into the gym because I was like, I need to fucking do something. And I joined this like community of women who like are really strong and stuff. And I was like, oh my God, yes, let's do this. I started doing that. And I was like, my mental health picked up so much. Like I was so happy. So I guess you could see the common occurrence of when I'm at my happiest and when I'm at my unhappiest. My happiest is when I'm in the gym, I'm in routine, and I'm taking care of myself. And then my most unhappiest is when I'm not in the gym, when I'm being a lazy fuck, when I'm not taking care of myself. So yeah, the gym was a massive part of my life, like as in it was extremely important to me to be going to the gym, but I didn't know it at the time. I know, fucking stupid. Looking back now, I'm like, oh my God, can you not fucking see? Anyways, let's not give out to our past selves. So we go back to college anyways. I finish and I graduate and I applied to do a master's in education to become a primary school teacher, and I don't get it. And then I'm like, oh, fuck, what now what? Because I always thought I'd be a primary school teacher, even though like I didn't really want to be one. I'm not going to get into that. So I was unemployed, I was finished college, and I was living at home with my boyfriend. So like I was literally just doing nothing. I was literally existing. That's all it was. I wasn't living, I was just existing. Wake up, like sleep in, play games on my computer, maybe go to the gym, have a takeaway, watch movies, go to bed on repeat every fucking day. That is not like, I know some of you are like, oh my God, that sounds fucking class. Like, yeah, it is for like a couple of random days here and there, but when it's literally your life every fucking day, it is so shit. And my mental health took a massive dip. Again, what's fucking new when I'm not exercising and not taking care of myself? So that is when I got a job then in a fucking donut shop, and it was grand. Like I was being overworked in there to fuck. Like the hours I was doing and the pay I was getting and the way I was being treated, not worth it whatsoever. But anyways, it was something to do and it was a way to earn money. And like I was so miserable, like after a couple of months of being in there. And I was like, is this my life now? Just working in a donut shop, earning minimum wage, being overworked, and then getting a takeaway every day after work and bringing home free donuts and eating them. No, like this cannot be it. So that's when I discovered Sinead Hegarty's 21-day meditation course. And it was all about finding your purpose and finding yourself and like healing and self-love and everything. I was like, this is literally what I need. Like I need to listen to this, or I need to do this course. So I bought that. And what is it? So you do it 21 days in a row, okay? I think after the third day is when, no, maybe it's like the fourth day or something. Anyways, it was after a couple of days is when I broke up with my boyfriend of 6.5 years. And when I like was just like, I'm done. Like I need to get out of this. I'm so unhappy. I don't know who I am. I don't love myself. I'm not taking care of myself. I can't be in this relationship. It wouldn't be fair on me, but it also wouldn't be fair on you. So this is it. And that was the hardest thing I ever had to do in my life. Like up until right now, out of everything I've done in my life, that was the hardest decision I ever had to make. Because you're like, 6.5 years is a long fucking time. Like, I was only a teenager when I was first with him, and now I'm a woman. And you're just like I was in this headspace of, oh sure, it's been 6.5 years, like you might as well stay with him. I'm sorry, what? Could you imagine being with someone who has the mindset of, ah sure, it's been so long, we might as well stay together? Absolutely not. That is not fair on anyone whatsoever. So I fucking mustered up the courage to do it, all thanks to the Brave Way meditation course, and broke up with him. And then I think after I finished the course, that's when, like, doing the course, I discovered that I wanted to be a personal trainer, that I wanted to help women who were like struggling like I was. Because at that time I was getting back into the gym, and I'd learned more about nutrition and exercise, and I was applying that to my life. And, I was improving myself as well as my mental health by doing the course. And that is when, like, I decided, oh my God, like, this is what I want to do. Like, I want to help people the way that Sinead Hegarty helped me. And that's by becoming the best version of myself. So, again, this is what this podcast is about. So fast forward a year, I started my coaching page in April 2021. Fast forward to a year and 2 months later, we're now in May 2023. And it's fucking wild. I mean, like, the person I am now compared to the person I was back then, completely different. I mean, like, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, everything. I am the best version of myself right now. And I feel like I'm literally only just getting started as well, which is fucking wild. And this is what I want to help people do, is to introduce them into this lifestyle of like loving yourself, being happy with yourself, knowing your self-worth, being confident, taking care of yourself, both physically and mentally. Now, of course, I'm not a qualified therapist or anything, so I'm not going to be like the best in that area. However, I am qualified in the like physical department, I suppose you'd call it, and like I'm continuing to develop my skills in that area, so I can help people in that department, which honest to God has the biggest knock-on effect to your mental health ever. Like, when I was working out, when I was taking care of myself, that's when my mental health was good. So if I can help people with that and improve, and the help like bring to light, or bring awareness around how much like improving yourself physically can have on your mental health, I'll be happy. If there's literally one girl or one guy listening to this and they're like, oh my God, I needed to hear that, it's time I need to make a change and actually be happy, I'll be fucking buzzing with myself. So that's basically like my life in a nutshell. And I know it was like half an hour long. And if you're still listening, thank you so much for making this far. But basically, that's what inspired me to be a coach, and why I love being a coach is because I love helping people who were in the position that I was in, of just feeling lost and feeling miserable and not knowing what to do with themselves. Like, introducing them to nutrition, into exercise, into taking care of themselves, and it really makes the biggest difference. And then they just become happier, healthier versions of themselves and better versions of themselves. So because I went through it myself, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe how much my life has changed and how much happier I am right now. I need to do this for other people, and I'm so passionate about it, and I love every single client that I work with, and I love hearing their success stories and being like, oh my God, like, you are amazing, you did all this yourself. It's fucking amazing. Like, it's really such a rewarding job. I love it so much. So I will obviously go into more topics to do with like weight loss, fat loss, and like getting into the gym anxiety, how to work on self-love and self-confidence, and just improving all these areas and aspects of your life while cutting out all the bullshit. I'll be doing all that over the next coming episodes. Of course, if you have any recommendations or any questions or anything, like, send me a message on Instagram. It's at Coach by Clodagh, and like, I will obviously bring it up on the podcast. And yeah, thank you so much for listening, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.